Hello and welcome back to Greenhill Junction. This video is all about getting the hillside done at the back of the village, so it'll be the start of basically the scenery for the layout. Now I'm going to have a hillside running from just over there all the way up, cutting those trees hopefully up into that corner, and then coming back down, cutting those trees and down to somewhere in there. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to put a couple, or figure out where I'm placing a couple of tunnels, because the idea is to have a road going out basically where the police car is into the hillside, and then obviously you can see Tornado there. I've got the incline coming up, so road tunnel will go a bit there, and all that's a mache railway tunnels that I had kicking about spare, so I've cut it down a little bit, so it's a bit better sized, and I put a bit of grey card at the back so you can't see through it. Now you may think that looks a bit oversized, but it's actually 6.5 centimetres at its highest point in the arch, which equates to about 4.9 metres in scale, I think, which nowadays is actually classed as a low bridge, so that is okay. I may take this side bit off because the hill's going to come down to here, but then it'll go over the side and that, so we'll get there. The other thing I have to do is put in a tunnel entrance for the incline round about there. So what I have is I have the old tunnel that I designed for the start of the incline at the station. This was originally attached to a double bridge, so I've cut that off, and I need to put it in, but I need to raise it up. So I've got 2 spare bits of wood, and all I've done is gradually stuck, there's 4 bits of 3mm cork there, just to raise it up enough. The idea being that one bit goes at one side, one bit goes at the other side, that sits on it, and the trains can pass through it, which they can. I've already tested that. Something that I need to take into consideration is obviously you can see Tornado there is above the level of the top baseboard, so I need a hollow hill to allow the trains to go up and down to the upper level, otherwise it was kind of pointless putting in that incline. Now there's a load of videos online now. Popular thing to use seems to be well, wall insulation board. I can't remember the name of it, but I've got to admit that's really expensive. I converted my garage a few years ago to an office, and the vast majority of the cost was sticking that stuff into the walls. So if you've got it sitting about spare, great, fine, go for it, but if you haven't, I wouldn't bother, honestly. And then you see them all cutting it with like hot wire cutters and kitchen knives, making a mess, and to be honest, I want my house to look more natural, more man-made, bumps, lumps, all that, so I'm going old school. I have got chicken wire, or galvanised wire netting if you want to give it its proper name, and there's 5 metres of the stuff here, and I got that for £7 online. I've got a whole stack of newspapers from my father-in-law for free, and I've got a big tub of PVA glue which was about £6–7 for, was it 5 litres or something like that? Yeah, 5 litres. So the idea is chicken wire for the frame, which will allow it to be hollow but will also make it sturdy. Covered it in newspaper, paper mache, let that dry, paint it, and then we can go on with the scenery. Now Andy at Charles in Eastgate did a hillside the same way, and he did it absolutely cracking, so I'm hoping to get somewhere near what he'd got. And when I spoke to my dad about doing it, he said that that's how my granddad did it as well, so it's kind of nice that many years down the line I'm still using the same methods. So get cracking, and let's get a hill made. I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so back in a bit. Right, the first thing I need to do is put something on the backboards for the chicken wire to get stapled into. Now if you think about it, if I stapled chicken wire into the backboard, it would need to be lying flush against it, so therefore going up, so I would have like chicken wire going like that, and then a little bit going like that. But quite difficult to hide. So what I've done is, I'm sure everyone has an overwhelming amount of cardboard kicking about, thanks to lockdowns and everything. So all I've done is cut little cardboard tabs, like, let me zoom you back out, like these. So it's just a bit of cardboard folded in half to create roughly a right angle tab. So I've glued one side, stuck it on. Once they are set, I will paint the top surfaces. So I'll paint this in PVA as well to make it solid. And my hill's not going to be random, well, not random steps, but linear steps like that. It's just supports. So you know the wire will probably gradually go up there, then connect there, then it might go up a bit and come down and connect there. You know, it's going to be rough. So I'm going to do that all the way along, gradually getting higher and higher and higher up into that corner. Come on, focus. And then stepping down again towards there. So yeah, just simple case of chopping up a sheet of cardboard and going nuts with PVA glue. And as you can see, I have brought Tornado down a little bit, just hiding in there, quite well camouflaged actually. And there's going to be plenty of room for it to pass under, so that's important as well. I need to make sure my hill is going to be well out of the way of the trains. So crack on with that and I'll get back to you. Right, so I've made a start. I've got all the tabs glued in as you can see, and I've cut myself a big strip of chicken wire, about 7 foot long I think. Obviously far too much for what I need, but I figured it's better to start in what's close to a right angle corner and then start cutting away the sort of shapes that I need down here as I go along. So the plan is kinda working. So well, I've also had to cover the track in the most annoying substance known to man, otherwise known as cling film, to protect it from the glue when it eventually comes to the glue stage. And I'm really hoping I can get into it that way to pull it back out when I'm done. So that could be a laugh. So the plan is kinda working. I've stapled it in on these three. The thing is, these are still flexible, these cardboard bits, so I kinda need to hold it, make sure my fingers are out of the way, then fire stapling. I didn't put glue on them like I said I was going to, because I tried it on a spare bit and it didn't make any difference. It just made the top surface shiny basically. So I've just decided to go for it and see what happens, and it does, like if I just gently pull that, it does hold. I mean, it'll not hold brilliant, but it'll hold. But you know, the idea is eventually there's paper and glue and everything, and hopefully everything kind of sticks to everything and it makes it a bit more secure. But you can see already why I quite like this, because also this has been in a roll and I've got a kind of natural flowing hill going on there with a wee gully coming down. Conveniently I did not do this. You know, this is just the way the wires came out, conveniently coming down in between the two tunnels, so that's kind of worked quite nice. So I'll probably just like staple it there, so I've got that sort of rolling hill feature, and then the rest of it will come down quite nicely, but then there's going to be random little divots depending on where I staple it. So I'm doing my usual and kind of bodging it as I go along and hoping for the best, but I think it'll work so far. This random bit of brick paper is so that when you look down the tunnel from the far end of the layout, you don't see, well, essentially it'll be dark in there once I get all the paper mache on, but it's just so it looks like a tunnel continuing. So fake perspective, I suppose, or false perspective if you want to call it that. And I painted the bits of wood in there brown, just so that when I put whatever scenery on top of it, it doesn't show through any bare wood. Obviously there's massive gaps here and there that can be filled in with paper and then covered up with scenery when the time comes. But so it's getting there. It's a sort of make it up as I go along sort of job, but it's working so far. So I'll get on with this, and we might or we will have a sort of mesh hillside. So I'll come back when we've got that. Right, well there we go. I have to say, a bit easier than anticipated, but I now have a chicken wire hillside. So I mean the stuff's really good to work with. You can manipulate it. I still can if I don't like a shape. It does move a little bit. That tab's obviously ended up being a little bit low, but that's fine. The hill will just go up and over it and down and up, and I've still got that nice natural gully. coming down here. Obviously going to have to factor in some wing walls there, maybe patch it with some paper. Same here, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to have a wing wall sort of coming down here or going down there into a little wall that will then run kind of all the way along until the incline comes up. But it's actually really good fun, I have to admit. So kind of difficult to see the profile when it's still see-through, but you know, that could be quite a nice running shot by the time I get it all synced up with the upper level. So yeah, and it's obviously much easier to staple it down here, so I just stapled it in place into the wood and then came along with a wire cutter and cut, and then stapled a wee bit more, cut a wee bit more, and got that. So I'm really quite pleased, I have to say. So next step, paper mache, the messy bit. So let's get stuck into that, quite literally probably. So back in a bit. Right, on to the fun bit, paper mache. So I have I've prepared that tunnel entrance, put some wing walls on, which means I'll be able to bring the paper mache down the other side. I've really not decided what to do there, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the paper mache down to about there, and I'll decide whether there's a wing wall or just a wall going along. I think it will need to be a sort of wing wall just with the slope coming down, but it's something I can put in later on. Yeah, paper mashing. Okay. Right, so once again doing this as cost effectively as I can. So got my big tub of PVA glue mixed with water. It's meant to be 2/3. This is the tub I use for ballasting, so it's meant to be 2/3 water to 1/3 glue. This is probably 50-50, maybe 60-40 in favour of water. I don't exactly measure it out. I have many strips of cut up newspaper, find the cheapest and nastiest one that you can, so it's not a waste of money, and all I've done is protect the track a little bit with some more paper. And mind the track underneath has got cling film on it, so that's okay, it will not get covered in glue, so it really is a simple case of dipping it in, wiping off the excess, and just sticking it on. Maybe I should have separated these before I got my gloves wet. Never mind, it's all part of the fun. There you go, you get the idea. So, just like that, it's just sticking strips of paper on. It's really nothing exciting, but it's messy, so I'm going to go on with this off camera because it's going to take me a while to do all the way around. I'll get back to you once it's stuck and dried. Right, so it's the next day. Everything has dried just about, apart from down in the corners there, still a little bit tacky, but it's totally solid. And also there's some flex to it because this is hollow and it's just chicken wire with paper on it, but you know, it's a base, it serves a purpose, that's easily going to be painted and then scenic, and I think it's going to give a really nice view of trains running kind of down this way. So yeah, very cost effective way of building the hillside, bearing in mind that the chicken wire cost me, I think it was £7, and I still have loads of that left. A tub of glue, which I've had for ages, but if you have to buy one, costs what, about £6-7 as well, and that was half of a 55p newspaper to cover all that. So you're looking at what, 15 quid. Now compare that to your sculptor moulds, your plaster cloths, your insulation boards. It's a fraction of the price for that stuff to get what is essentially the same effect. So if you're looking for a budget way to do it, this is the way. If you want to go spend all that money on the other stuff, aye, go ahead. But are you going to get anything different for that once I paint that up and put static grass and bushes and things on it? I don't think so. So I'll leave it there. We'll do the decoration in the next video. So thanks very much for watching. Please leave me any comments that you have. Tell me what you think about this method. Do you think I'm being fair in my comments or unfair? Subscribe to keep up to date with the layout. And thanks very much for watching. Speak to you again soon. Cheers.